total. And Jeremy, with that being said, it's pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, but a little bit shorter than a normal Olympic lifting total where you get 3 chances for your snatch and clean and jerk. Only 2 here at competition at the CrossFit Games. And they have got a 20-second window per athlete, and they will just rotate through their snatch and their clean and jerk, and their scores for both will be added and give the team a total. And the team total we're looking for is about 20 pounds right now.
Let's go down and introduce you to the 4th member of our crew. Hey, Lauren Smith.
Cheers, Joel. So this is the first time that we've seen an Olympic weightlifting total at the CrossFit Games. Now, it does bear many similarities from what we'd expect in weightlifting, only we are going to be able to see press outs, and as Jeremy already mentioned, there's only 2 attempts. I've been chatting to the athletes backstage, and if we were to take a vague subsection of those I've been speaking to, you're going to get your banker, and then you're either going to go for broke, give absolutely everything and hope it sticks, or you're going to be more calculated because there's a lot of points up for grabs in the middle. You don't necessarily need to win.
Lauren, thank you. And Jamie, as we take a look at our recipe for success, what Lauren said has played out in both directions. You've seen people go for broke and miss, and you've seen people play it conservative and maybe kick themselves a bit.
She said exactly it. Money in the bank. You need to make sure that you open up with a high percentage to give your team the best chance possible, but also you're going to go for broke in that second attempt. You're at the CrossFit Games. Use the adrenaline. Use this crowd. Go for that 1 rep max.
We'll lift from the back to the front, going in sets of 2. So Move Fast, Lift Heavy, and Oslo Blackout will lift first. Then Trondheim and Mayhem, Jeunesse, No Shortcuts, OBA East Nashville, Navy Blue, and Invictus. But East Nashville, the group from Proven, gonna throw up some silly weights here today. At least that's the expectation.
Expectation, I think that's going to be absolute reality as well. Time to do some moving for the Proven team, and I think today is going to be that day.
Open up with Move Fast, Lift Heavy. They typically do, as their name implies. They are on the left side of your screen. Right side of your screen is Oslo Blackout.
When we think about Olympic lifting, you want to do both. You want to move fast and lift heavy at the same time. As speed under the bar, one of those essential components to getting an efficient lift.
Angelo DeChico, successful at 255. Zoe Jones at 140 for Mayhem.
3, 2, 1,
G-Shock is the official watch of the Noble CrossFit Games and is giving you the chance to win a new G-Shock watch, a CrossFit Level 1 seminar, and over $400 in CrossFit swag. Make sure you visit gshock.com/CrossFit. And East Nashville Proven, Tim Paulson opens at 265, Andrea Nisler at 170. OBA, we also expect to see some big lifts from. Nick Hecht starting with a 245-pound snatch.
3, 2, 1.
Now we'll get Navy Blue on the left side of your screen. Ingrid Hodenmere and Avend Dalringard, good at 235.
Jorge, no issue with that hamstring either, bouncing straight out of the bottom of that squat.
Jorge Fernandez's hamstring limiting him at semifinals. That's a big save at the bottom of the squat for Devin Kim.
She missed behind her in that first attempt. She came back, hit it in the right correct spot, sat right down in the bottom, stood that up.
First snatch for the second pair here. Christian Harris hits 265 for Move Fast, Lift Heavy. We'll see Kyra Milligan opening at 170 for Mayhem Independence. As you would expect, big numbers and an easy snatch from Milligan. Sam DeMeester, a clean 255. Independence with that first place, then they took a 17th yesterday, so 7th overall for the Mayhem team.
You think about the weight difference between all of these lifters. Teams at the front that are currently leading Oslo Navy Blue and Invictus, the opportunity to turn around and see exactly what the other teams are lifting. Just to add a few more pounds to that barbell each lift.
Tola Maracanio is about to open with 275, as we all do.
With our deadlifts.
Right side of your screen in the pink knee sleeves, and yeah. Joey Tortora at 245, good for OBA on the left. Does that impact what you do, Jeremy, if you can turn around and see what everybody else is lifting, or do you have a plan and stick to it?
Oh, big time. We saw it at the Torian Pro last year with Cara Saunders and Tia Claire Toomey, and Tia saw what Cara lifted and just added a few more pounds to the barbell just to make sure she got ahead and made sure she got the win in that test at the Torian Pro.
175 for Richter, for Oslo, 160 for Weiss.
That first round through, you saw a lot of these athletes make their first attempt, and what that does for your confidence going into that second round. You feel so secure, you're going to go for that next one.
Oh, simultaneous hits for Oslo Blackout.
Little dance back there for the ladies.
It was Ingrid Tondal with that 180 connection.
1 lift.
Zoe Jones only going to jump up to 150. 270 is good for Angelo DeChico.
And these athletes know their limits. They know what they're capable of. They know what jumps they need to make.
And again, this is where we talk strategy a little bit as a team. If you know you have somebody who is not as great an Olympic lifter, maybe I push my boundaries if I know I am, right?
If you do not, your weakest person on your team needs to hit as close to their 1 rep max as possible. And then your big heavy hitters, they can take a risk and go for a little bit of higher numbers.
All right, 285 on the bar here for Tim Paulson and the proven crew from East Nashville. Andrea Nisler just destroyed 180, and Paulson made 285 look easier. Hecht's good at 265, but it's less impressive when Paulson just did that.
If you look at the position of the barbell for both Paulson and Maracagno, both great shoulder mobility and getting that barbell into position. Stabilization, so important in this lift.
Big lift for Ingrid Hodenmere at 185. Top end strength is not the strength of Oslo Navy Blue. I don't want to say this is a damage control event for them, but this is one where they're not going to win. That's a huge number for Hodenmere.
And speaking to a lot of these teams, they know that every placement matters. Every rep counts, every second counts, so that making sure that every pound on this barbell does make a big difference.
And we've got a 190 miss for Blackout. So back to Trondheim. And Milligan only makes a 10-pound jump. And good patience, Jamie, under the bar on the right side for Mayhem Independence.
Great first pull. She was patient throughout that second drive. Pulled herself under, stabilized, stood that barbell up strong.
Andre Houdet on the right side for no shortcuts, 275. Easy as pie. I mean, that's a good run for no shortcuts. Joey Tortora gets a little pat on the back from Nicholas Hecht.
Tola going for 305 now.
270 for Tortora. Tola Maracagno only 305. Oh, he's going to kick himself. That was easy. 305 pounds overhead for the strongest man out there. And 192 is successful for Taylor Williamson. Kelsey Keel just hit 205 for OBA. 185, big number for Richter. 170 for Brittany Weiss out of Invictus. And 260, Billadell hung onto the platform.
And for this level, technique. What is going to get you that lift is a successful positioning, your timing, your tempo. Absolutely beautiful and textbook from all these athletes.
We're now on to the clean and jerk. Each athlete will have 2 attempts here as we move through. Your total score is everybody's snatch and clean and jerk added together. There is nowhere to hide in this test.
Well, you think about proficiency of movement, Jamie, you just mentioned it. Technique is everything. Olympic weightlifters, they go through this and they go to the Commonwealth Games, the Olympic Games, just to do this test. These athletes have got to be proficient at this, and they're going to go ride a bike for an hour. Then they're going to do some gymnastics as well. So they're going to have a great balance right across each of the 3 components that make up CrossFit.
That's the beauty of CrossFit.
And then do it fast.
We've got a 300 opener and a successful lift from Janas. I don't want to say they've flown under the radar because they've been on the podium before, but Elliot Janine just throwing down the gauntlet there with that opener. Andrea Nisler Easy under the bar at 215 and easy under the jerk as well. Paulson's going to start at 335. Hecht at 315. That's successful. It's going to be 320 for Ringard. Hodemir opens at 245. On the right side, Kim at 225. Jorge, a push jerk at 315.
Work to your strength, Joel. Should have strict pressed it.
You know, it's funny. Invictus said they struggled at semifinals, and they had a tie for the most points. But Josh Alshama said if Jorge Fernandez's hamstring was healthy, they win running away. And he might have been right.
And I believe it.
First place team overall right now.
Now going back to OBA, Hecht, I thought he had a lot more in the tank on that first lift as well, so I expect a bigger jump this time around.
And like our recipes for success, you start with something that you know you can get on the board and get your team a score in there. And then from there, we've seen 20-pound jumps on here, so interesting to see what we see in the second round.
Oh, nice form lift, 3 blues for Demeester. Right side of your screen from Mayhem Independence.
You got to think about when you do get that lift and you feel good, biting off too much more than you can chew. Hey, and you're in the lead as well. Hey, we're doing okay on the leaderboard. Do I just push it a little bit more, or do you stay conservative?
Strategy. Strategy comes into all of this.
Lucas Hughes at 315 for Genas. Now here's Taylor Williamson on the right side for East Nashville. Is going to open at 215. Tolamor Akinyo at 336 to start. Kelsey Keel starting with some big numbers. Oh, we've got successful lifts across the board. Tortora makes it 4 for 4 in that round. Big hits, big numbers.
And this is where your stronger athletes really get to shine. We love to see them with the heavy barbell in their hands.
Keel hit 250. This is 245 from Richter. 320 good for Billadell. 195 from Invictus's Weiss. 245 for Richter. Tell you what, Navy Blue has had one hell of a test to start their day.
So not only can they run fast, they can lift very heavy as well.
They can cycle okay as well.
They won the bike event yesterday, the bike test yesterday, to vault them back into silver medal contention or silver medal position. And Blackout doesn't get an attempt off on the men's side in that window. Zoe Jones at 210 for Mayhem. 245 up for Trondheim.
And we talked about this before, a clean and jerk are two separate movements, so they're gonna have to clean it to their shoulders first, take a second if their feet are wide from that squat, walk their feet in, dip straight up and straight down, drive that bar up overhead, stand up strong.
Julian Kromoshvitz, right side from No Shortcuts. Ooh. Oh, he just couldn't get under the bar.
Jamie, you make it sound so easy. You just got to do it with a heavy barbell, that's all.
Just drive yourself under 325.
It's easy.
No big deal.
230 for Lundberg. 225 here for Nissler. 350 for Paulson. Paulson, yes. Hecht from OBA wants 335. And he didn't have a chance to regroup.
And that's what we saw from Ben Smith in that earlier heat. Instead of dropping it, bringing it down to your shoulders.
Now 245 for Hodemir, 335 for Ringard. I mean, it's just easy across the board in these front platforms. Fernandez at 345 was easy. Ringard, been here before.
Good lift from Devin Kim too at 240.
When I competed, my teammate Andrew Kong and I, we had a 100-pound rule, so he had to lift 100 more pounds than whatever I snatched or clean and jerked.
I don't like that rule.
Like total or per round?
Christian Harris with that big clean and jerk in that back.
For Thurman Moe, gets underneath a 290-pound clean and jerk for Trondheim on the left side. And Genas now left, No Shortcuts right.
Their first pull from the ground will tell you a big difference if they will hit this lift or not. If they can pull that from the ground, keep that barbell close, catch in a good position in the bottom, that'll make a big difference.
Power your performance with Momentous. Enter to win the ultimate prize pack at livemomentous.com. Maracanio just hit 350. Taylor Williamson, 230. Keel at 265.
Maracanio left a lot out on that platform on both lifts.
Brittany Weiss, right side for Invictus, fighting to clean the 205. Alshama crushing 350. Weiss, a good lift. 250 as well. Leanna Richter. Oh, Navy Blues having a great start to the day.
Love that. When you hit a big lift, you know how good that feels. Her teammates are pumped for her.
Gee, they're on a mission, aren't they?
They're gunning for that top spot. They know even though they're not in those white leader jerseys, they are chasing after that.
You know, Tim Paulson was pretty vocal coming into this that he wanted a third lift because of the way it sets you up to take some more shots. With 2 lifts, people weren't shy.
And absolutely, in that clean and jerk, you don't have enough time, especially if you're at a 1 rep max, that squat clean is going to take everything out of you. So we saw that most of these athletes only had 1 attempt at that clean and jerk.
We expected some big numbers to fly here in our 4th and final heat. It did not disappoint. Our number to beat was 2020 from Templo back in Heat 1. I think we had a bunch of teams scream past that.
Well, you've got a score to beat, haven't you? So you, no doubt all these teams into the final heat looking after that Paulson, that 285. To start things off for the snatch component of test number 3 and that overhead mobility experience. If you think about the technique Jamie McGee hampered on for the last hour or so, the better your technique, the easier things are going to get. And Paulson is just looking very comfortable. Victor's coming home strong. Leaders after 1 day of competition and the push jerk. Jorge OBA thereabouts as well. And just also Navy Blue second on the leaderboard and wanting to come out with some big lifts to finish things off. And Jamie, you mentioned it so many times about the patience. Great lift to finish.
285 from Walleyes, the unofficial number 1, but 2,025 from Oslo Navy Blue, unofficially in 2nd place. They're with Lauren.